on pole position in the BMW, ahead of his teammate Jeff Goddard, and then the first of the Delta Opals, and that's Michael Briggs. The red light's on, it's going to green. We've got 10 laps, 38 kilometers of hot racing ahead of us as they go to the first corner against just 200 meters from the starting line. And it is Lance on the inside in that super quick BMW. Goddard's in the middle there, he's being surrounded by, just look at that for a field. They go on and on, there's 40 of them in this field. C56 in front of you, there's Peter Gow, he's in the Honda. And they can hardly all fit in the road as you see. It's Lance and Briggs already gone to second position. Hilton Cowie's in there as well. Then we've got the rallyist, that's Nick Duval. He's in the C-class car for 1800s. To take on the might of the Toyota team. It's Peter Lance in the front. There's Viana now starting to make a show in that red and white car, the Winfield coloured car. If you've got a colour set, he was starting to move up the pack because Viana was only on the 4th row of the grid, not too good in practice this morning. Here they come. The Opel going from the inside has gone to second. It's ahead of Goddard. Then it's the BMW. Oh, it's real. This is the real thing here. 49, as you see going round there is Leon Marais. He's up from the 1300 class. And he's now gone up into the Class C for cars up to 2 litre. Have you ever seen traffic like this? You couldn't get it busier in Elof Street as they come down that mine shaft, down IGI, into Continental Corner, going just as hard as they can. 34's Peter Morris, and he's in the 16-valve Golf. He's been in modified cars and Formula 4s before, getting it side as he goes through Continental Corner. You see Ben Moore there. The car just ahead of him is a newcomer. It's a Ford Laser of Neil Brink, the champion in that class last year. It's Peter Lance in front. Is it Michael Briggs? If it's 20, it's Briggs. If it's 21, it's Hilton Cowie. And he's almost getting that car onto 3 wheels, as you can see. Look at them all jockeying. Ooh, rough there. Then it's Briggs, and there's 21. That's Hilton Cowie there, a little further down. So it's Michael Briggs staying right up there with Peter Lance. It's Briggs. Viana's now gone to 30 as he goes through on the inside. You can see them jockeying for position. Peter Lance finishes 1 lap. We've got 9 laps to go. Michael Briggs now has got him in his sides. Viana going for third. That's the car in the middle as he swings through on the inside. Going around the outside is Jeff Goddard, the works driver from BMW. Those are teammates that don't want to go bumping each other at this stage of this race. And then just behind them, they've got Tony Valerio, going very well from Johannesburg, a newcomer to this class in one of the 325i Shadowline BMWs. Lance is really pushing. He's been over to Switzerland for the last 2 months. You can see the beading hanging off those cars. It's hot out there. Speedy cars for Dangor. He comes up from Clarksdorp as they're onto the shelf for Westbank, heavy onto the brakes. Lance takes the classical line late as he can, right up to that curving, swing over, and Goddard has taken Viana. Goddard has taken Viana, then it's Valeria, then it's Hilton Cowie just behind. Aberdeen is in there. He's in the Lindsay Sakers 16-valve Volkswagen Golf, Chris Aberdeen, the winner of that class last year in the national championship. So you've got some rare talent up the front of this field. It's Lance in the front, Michael Briggs in second position ahead of those other BMs.
Roger, en ek sal glad nie wil sien hoe dit verder terug in hierdie wedren gaan nie. Seker groot oorlog tussen die ander klasse C, B, C, D en E natuurlik ook. Maar terug na die voortou nog steeds Peter Lance met sy Super Quick Tires BMW aan die voortou, die 2 liter Opel Kadett daarso van Michael Briggs wat in die tweede posisie is op hierdie stadium. Daar is absoluut niks tussen hulle. Dit lyk vir my amper asof die Delta daar Tony Viana, pragtig hou. Tony Viana wat heeltemal sywaarts gaan en dit gee natuurlik vir Farouk Dangor 'n kansie om bietjie nader aan hom te gekom het, maar wat se bestuursvernuf het hierdie man hier vir ons vertoon. Absoluut pyp. Nog steeds aan die voortou daar Peter Lance, dan is dit Briggs, dan is dit Jeff Goddard. Jeff Goddard, 'n man wat geweldig baie goed kan bestuur. Gistermiddag bietjie daar bo op Westbank gesit en gekyk hoe hy daardeur kom in die nat weer en heeltemal sywaarts gery en hy het dit definitief geniet. Dit is verseker. Lyk vir my party van die manne sit met remligte, voete so effens op die rem as hulle daar deurkom. Dis die derde ronde wat hulle nou mee besig is. 2 rondes al reeds voltooi. Nommer 6 daar, dis Farouk Dangor. En die geel Opeltjie wat dit agter hom is Hilton Cowie. Hierdie topsport is 'n Peter Lance nog steeds aan die voortou, maar Briggs sit in haal asem hier reg in sy nekhare, absoluut. Of sal ons sê met Peter Lance sy baardhare. Definitief daarso in die moeilikheid met Briggs wat daar sit. Die 2 liter Opeltjie lyk vir my het effens meer bene as hulle in die langer pylvlakke afgaan. Maar Jeff Goddard wat in die derde posisie sit, gaan nie maklik laat die Opel van hom al wegkom nie. Dan is dit Tony Viana. Net na Tony het ons vir Farouk Dangor, dan is dit Cowie, Aberdeen, dan is dit Martinus Breers in 'n 16 klep Golf. hier kom hulle die mynskag af. Lieflike groen gras aan beide kante van die baan. Hilton Kelby wat nou uit die prentjie uitgaan. Dan het ons Aberdeen. Chris Aberdeen en Martinus Brees. Martinus Brees wat voor Aberdeen is op hierdie stadium en heeltemal sy wat sy gebruik stuur en hy is van die baan af en hy sal moet hard werk om terug te kry. Pas op vir die ander verkeer kerel en kom hy net daardeur. Dis hoe dit gedoen word in Stannic Groep N. Ek skrik myself half boeglam. Ek weet hoe dit voel.
Graham, I tell you, for all the oohs and ahs that we were doing, I tell you, his heart was in his mouth. He's an ex-motocross, he should be happy in the dirt. But for coming across the dirt, right across the field, there he is. His heart must be in his mouth. It hasn't stopped him. Look at that inside back wheel. He's coming off the ground. And this is Group N racing. We're going to see it all over the country, the Stannic Group N racing. This is just the inland series. There's Neil Brink now going very nicely in the Motocroft Laser. That's the first official Ford entry. We're going to see some of their modified entries a little later in the season as they're getting their whole team into action, and Ford back officially in motorsport. B24 in front of you there is Danny Moyle. He's in the Williams Hunt West 2-litre cadet and going very nicely as well. Look at they lift the inside wheel. Aberdeen lifts the Lindsay Saker inside back wheel as they go through. There's Mike White. He's leading Class C. You just caught a glimpse of Mike White coming to the picture. He's ahead of Nick Duval in the Opel. That's the 1800 GSI Opel. And then Mike O'Sullivan going very, very nicely indeed in the Honda 160. He's from Johannesburg. Here are the leaders. It's Peter Lance. Goddard's now got he's pushed his nose into second position. That's first and second in Class A. The lead in Class B is Michael Briggs, and he's not finished. Then it's Viana. This is unlike Viana, that far down the field. And just looking at them coming down the car, coming down that mine shaft, Viana might have lost another place. As he is, we see them coming. Beautiful shot as they swing into these high-speed S's in RGI corner and go into Continental corner. Just look at the beating he's hanging off Goddard. He's been in the wars. Car wars we promise, and car wars you get. And the action's happening all the way down the field. Peter Lance leading Goddard. There they are in frame now, coming towards us. And then the third man is Michael Briggs, very, very fast indeed. Talk of him driving some cars overseas. There's Tony Viana next. And here comes Hilton Cowie. He's also going to be overseas just behind Viana. Very good performance there by Farouk Danga. There's the Danny Moyle car going nicely, the Williams Hunt car. Yeah, and Michael White, you just saw a glimpse of him there. Mike White is there in Class C, going very well for Toyota. Look at that wheel coming off the ground. Aberdeen has got the wheel off the ground, three-wheel motoring. Here he comes. That's the Lindsay Saker Motorsport Volkswagen Golf going exceptionally well. Then you can see there's Mike White, and just behind him, if you've got colour, you see those blue headlights. That's Nick Duval, the rallyist, and he's been worried all the way there by another Golf. So Mike White is leading Class C to the cheers of the Toyota camp, and Nick Duval not too far behind him. Onto the brakes for Yellow Pages they go. That little section there's just been resurfaced in the heat of the day. Onto the Shark's Teeth, and Mike White going very nicely in that holiday in Toyota Conquest. Then we've got Nick Duval. Here's the tyres up front. That's Aberdeen, three-wheel motoring Aberdeen. Great driver, very talented, up from karting. He's won 3-hour races. He's won 6-hour races. He won the Castrol 6-hour down in Cape Town at the end of last year. Viana not really shaping in this company today. It's most unlike him to come down the road in 4th position. And 149s is a very quick lap in a standard motor car by Jeff Goddard. He drives for BMWs for a living. And there he is in shot now, getting it sideways. He's near the motor car with him. You really know that he's motoring down that Continental corner, that's for sure. Driving on Continentals as well as he goes round Harbour and just floors it down. Briggs is there, safe in his class win, 3rd overall on the road.
Die aksie is nog glad nie verby nie. 4 rondes, amper 5 rondes verby in hierdie wedren. En dit lyk vir my Tony Viana het 'n bietjie aksie daarso aan sy binnekant. Tony Viana wat aan die binnekant van sy lyn het, sal definitief makliker daardeur kom. Moet hom net op sy wiele hou, so effens 'n teenstuur word daar gebruik om deur die draai te kom. Sy Winfield BMW, dan is dit Farouk. Dangor, daardeur National Panasonic kom, daar word hard gewerk. As die man daardeur kom, dit is verseker, dit is glad nie 'n maklike draai nie. Dit lyk miskien maklik, mens werk geweldig hard weer daardie National Panasonic draai. Hilton Cowie wat ons nou net uit die prentjie wat in die prentjie inkom daar aan die agterkant, probeer al wat hy werd is om nader te kom aan hierdie twee BMW's, want sy spanmaat sit reeds voor hulle. So 'n stukkie stof daar aan die linkerkant, miskien een van die motors wat in die voortou is, bietjie meer van die baan gebruik as wat daar is. En Tony Viana weer heeltemal sywaarts met sy motor. Geweldige klomp teenstuur wat hy aandraai om die motor in die regte rigting te druk om uit die draai te kom. Een van die 2 liter kadets, pypmotors, absoluut pyp. Daar die klein motortjies om teen hierdie groot 3.5 liter BMW's te kompeteer. Dit is definitief dan een van die beter klein motortjies. Dan agter hulle kyk ons na die Golfs. Daar's 'n Golf 2 van Chris Aberdeen, die 16 klep ook, wat geweldig goed doen ook. Kom hulle daar af. Mike Vrou in motor nommer 104. Verloor so effens beheer oor die motor. Dit is deur Gans draai. Kom ons kyk wat gaan hy doen. Hy draai hom reguit. Gaan hy nou tol heeltemal die verkeerde rigting, en hier kom moeilikheid. Die sandpit wag vir hom. Hy moet nou net gebruik maak van die sandpit om hom te stop. Maar ons sal sien hoe effektief hierdie sandpit nou regtig is. En hier kom moeilikheid. Hy beweeg effens te vinnig terug, draai weer die stuur om weg te tol van die klomp bande wat daar voor hom is, maar hy is heeltemal veilig en uit daardie onder ons.
That was nice control that Graham, and also just showing going across that gravel pit. Look at that for driving a Peter Lance, but going across that gravel pit as he did, I think was the safest thing that he could have done. If you went sideways, you can roll the motor car. Just to give you the other classes that are in this race at the moment, C class has been led there at the moment by Michael White. He's in the Toyota, and in D class we've got Neil Brink in 73. He's in the Ford Laser just ahead of Ben Morganroot, who's driving in the Mazda EGI. So that's the position a little further down. A class, of course, these are the leaders 1 and 2. That's Peter Lance, the Swiss, ahead of Jeff Goddard. Then it's Michael Briggs. You can just see him in shot now, leading the B class. That's for 2.3 litre motor cars, and the little 2 litre Delta Motorsport Opel GSI going very, very well. And then it's Viana, as you see, coming next. But C's been led by Mike White at the moment, ahead of Nick Duval in the Opel. And then in D class, it's Neil Brink ahead of Ben Morganroot, and he's just on his tail. We've been looking out in the circuit and been able to see that. Back to the action as they come up Westbank Hill.
Peter Lance en sy super quick tires, BMW, gevolg deur Jeff Goddard. Goddard wat geweldig goed kan bestuur. Veral deur Westbank het ek hom gister gesit en kyk. Lekker dat hy daardeur gekom, maar Peter Lance nog steeds aan die voortou. Kom ons kyk wat gaan gebeur. Hy moet in die glystroom bly om nader te kom. Die klein Opel Kadett, mens kan ook nie sê die klein Opel Kadett nie, die 2 liter Opel Kadett van Mike Briggs, wat in die 3de posisie sit op hierdie stadium. Hy probeer alles uit die sak uittrek om nader aan hierdie BMW's te kom. Die hoogste snelheid is Chris Aberdeen, 164,76 km/h. Dis in die pylvlak gedoen, net voor die NTN draai. Jeff Goddard wat hierdie AWA draai gaan, Peter Lance al reeds deur, dan kom die 2 liter Kadett van Briggs. Kom heeltemal oor na die regterkant toe van die baan om die regte lyn te kry na die linkerkant toe vir die NTN draai. Daar is bitter min tussen hierdie manne. Ons sien vir Tony Viana en Farouk Dangor wat ook nader kom. Hier is niks tussen nie. Farouk Dangor wil in die binnekant kyk. Wie gaan eerste? Tony Viana druk net voor hom in, en dit is Farouk Dangor wat effens moet terugsit en tevrede wees met daardie posisie van hom, die 5de posisie. National Panasonic lê voor hulle, daar word hard gery as hulle deurkom. Nog steeds aan die voortou is dit Peter Lance met sy super quick BMW. Dan is dit Jeff Goddard met die werks BMW. Dan het ons van Michael Briggs in die 2 liter Kadett. Daar sien ons 'n stukkie van Hilton Cowie wat in die 6de posisie is op hierdie stadium. Dan het ons vir Danny Moyle met sy 2 liter Kadett ook. Dis die Williams handmotor van Danny Moyle. Geel bladsye draai. Sien hoe hard werk Tony agter daai wiel. Farouk Dangor ook. Heeltyd remligte aan, of is dit parkeerligte? Die snelheid wat hierdie manne teen beweeg, ek is seker hulle soek nie vir parkering nie, dis verseker. Viana, Farouk Dangor, deur die eerste topsport is, deur die tweede een nou. En nou is dit die Winfield Devil wat vir hulle voor lê. Dan is dit die Westbank, draai na links. Hier is waar dinge baie kan gebeur. Vroeger vandag gesien, wat moet die Porsches gebeur om Dangor, gaan hy hom kan hou? Gaan nog steeds eventjies wyd, en dit het om 6-7 karlengtes gekos agter Tony Viana. Daar is die storie na so amper 'n tol van die motor, en dit het miskien vir die motor daar van Hilton Kelby 'n kans gegee om bietjie nader te kom. Ons kan sien Tony Viana is redelik voor hom, seker 'n goeie 10 motorlengtes nou voor Farouk Dangor. Maar dit is 'n mooi beheerde gly gewees daardie, en gelukkig is hy nog op die baan. Maar sy kans om nou naby Tony Viana te kom met 7,5 rondes reeds voltooi in hierdie wedren is absoluut niks nie. Peter Lance, soos ons hom ken, die Swiss Mountain Goat, wat in die voortou is op hierdie stadium, die eerste van die stadiger motors word verbygegaan. Dit is een van die Conrad motortjies wat verbygaan word, en Jeff Goddard skiet voor hom om 'n beter lyn te kry as hulle daardeur kom. Peter Lance aan die voortou, en ons het al 'n paar keer gesien dat hy voorste wegspring posisie op die wegspringrooster gehad het, maar nog nooit die wedren gewen nie. 2 rondes oor in hierdie wedren en Goddard sal nou 'n plan moet maak om by lands te kom. Kensdraai word aangedurf. Daar kom die 2 liter kadet ook. Dan is dit Viana, dan is dit Dangor in die kleiner motortjie. Dis 'n 1300 Toyota wat heel agter seker word. Hy sal seker maar heel agter wees, Roger. As iemand moet tog sekerlik agter wees. Wat nou deur die vinniger motors verbykom. Aan die voorkant daar sien ons vir Martinez Breers as ek reg kyk. En
and the grey and that little white one, that's the one leading Class C, just 2 behind them as you see them coming into view. That's Mike White into the final lap and a half. There's Mike White, and there's the man that's challenging him, Nick Duval, coming through in the little Opel 1.8 GSI. So White doing very well for Toyota there, C47. That's Michael White leading Class C. He's ahead of Nick Duval, as you can see there, and then number 49 comes behind him, and that's Leon Marie and another conquest, and they're ahead of Mike O'Sullivan, the Honda, going very nicely indeed. And in D class, a little further behind him, Ben Morganroot has now got ahead of Brink. He's about a car length ahead of him, just to put you in the picture. And in E class is Nick Duval's brother Peter Duval, the competitions manager of Delta, who's leading the 1300 class in the Opel Cadet Cup, ahead of Paolo Lupini and Abdul Jaffa. They 1, 2, 3. So there is the position. We've still got it. You've been seeing it all the time. Lance Goddard, Briggs leading Class B. Viana a little bit far down the field for him. Farouk Dangor giving a good drive to stay with him. And Lance coming through the traffic. That's Peter Lance. What a polished drive he's given. He said this is going to be his season. I was talking to him when they were waiting down the pit road just before this race. And he means to do well this end. What a polished driver. He can drive the modifieds. He's very smooth. He can drive those Porsche 944s out of the Turbo Cup. And we've got action there as a car down the field. The dust you saw there was number 104. That's Mike Frau. He's had a most eventful race. We've seen him in slow-mo. Now he's doing it again.
He's actually considering going into off-road racing, Roger.
Well, I tell you, well, he's very lucky to get away with what he did just now. These corners into all the corners at Kyalami, bar yellow pages you see in front of you now, are very fast entrances. And if you get into trouble, look at Goddard, what a piece of polished driving. If you get into trouble, you certainly get into trouble going very quickly. And there he is, Frau, saying to Michael Briggs, go on my left. Here is Peter Lance going very nicely. That BM sounds beautiful. That 6-cylinder, 2.5 litre sounds absolutely magic. That A-class, incidentally, is for cars up to 3.8 litres, so you can always bring a bigger engine along, but they'd be hard-pressed if they're going to beat these BMs in the front. It's a super quick BM in front. It's Jeff Goddard in second position. He's in the BMW official dealer team as they exit West Bank, and now they start just flooring it as they go. Doesn't the Kyalami look nicely with all the green? They floor it down there. Here's Michael Briggs in third position. Viana just coming through now. Through RGI, and then they change direction, and this is where these Conti tires really start to work through that corner. As the car wants to go further and further to the outside, as you see, over the tunnel. And look at Goddard. He's really been pushing it along at a great rate of knots, as Jeffrey Goddard. He's a very confident driver. Briggs is coming through in third position as we come into the final 300-400 meters of this race. And Peter Lance, his first big victory, and he's done it convincingly in the Stannic Group N Racing. He's got about 300-400 meters to go, and it's going to be Peter Lance's race. Here he is, nicely turned out, well driven in number 10, that 325i. You can see who provides the fuel. There's Jeff Goddard with bits hanging off his doors, and Peter Lance comes to the flag. John Wheeler gives him the flag. He's done it. He's coming through in first. And here's Michael Briggs, very fine drive, through in third position, winning Class B. There he is in the 2-litre oval. They're going to be hard-pressed in that class this year. Viana comes through with Dangor just behind him. Farouk Dangor from Clarksdorp just behind him. Then it's going to be Hilton Cow. You can see it on the left-hand side of your picture coming through. Just the other classes, it's Mike White is going to come through to win Class C ahead of Nick Duval. There it is. Those are the ones that we gave you. And Mike White, in fact, does come through about 50 meters ahead. There are Peter Lance in the super quick BMW, the winner, ahead of the official BMW of Jeff Goddard. Michael Briggs winning Class B, very fine performance. Viana, he's got to really start wakening up there if he's going to stay with those leaders. Dangor next, and then Hilton Cowie second in Class B. Well, that's the Stannic Group N Racing at the moment. A good start to the season. In the meantime, back to the studio. And one of the big races of the day at the Yellow Pages meeting is the Stannic Group N, also for the Stannic Inland Championship. And surprise, surprise, the winner at the last race meeting here, Peter Lance in the super quick BMW on pole position. Just a fraction of a second, as you see, ahead of that man, Tony, that's Lance there, ahead of Tony Viana in the Winfield BMW. Another surprise, Chris Aberdeen leading Class B. That's the 2-litre class, ahead of Michael Briggs. You see him down in 6th position, so Briggs will have to go some to get past those BMWs of Dangor and Goddard to get onto Aberdeen's tail. So that's a turn up for the books. The LSM Golf is now leading the works Opel. You can just see it through there with the red headlights. If you've got colour, that yellow motor car, as we get into the final few seconds before the start of this race. The man in front of you here is Tony Viana on the front row with Peter Lance. That's the works Winfield BMW. Tony has had a very busy weekend fixing his Westbank modified car down in Welcome, just getting it back for the race here at Kyalami, and now he's into the standard car. A little further back, we've got Mike White now. He's ahead of Nick Duval in the Opel. White is in the Toyota, and we're away. It's 10 laps. It's 38 kilometers ahead of us. And who's going to get into this first? There's Aberdeen coming through the middle. It's Peter Lance on this side here, the super quick BMW. Is he going for it? He's got the advantage as he goes into Gans. And then alongside Aberdeen, we've got Jeff Goddard as they push and squeeze their way on the way to Yellow Pages. Viana's got the advantage this time as he goes into Yellow Pages, and Aberdeen's nudging through too. Aberdeen's going for, and they're leaning each other. 40's the ball getting lent on there by Mike White, and they're using a little bit of the outfield as well. Clive Rice is in this race. Ben Morganrood's in this race. Ben Morganrood's in a B-class car. You're going to, there he is there, that yellow and blue car, 27. That's Morganrood. He's now in a 2-litre car, and he's going to be in there with the Opals. That one just ahead of him, and Briggs and Aberdeen, who's just ahead of him as well. That's the Winfield BMW. It's Viana. It's Lance. Look at this. They push and squeeze, and there's no love lost there. 47 is Mike White. He's already been lent on there, but looks like Leon Murray. Martinez Breers is there, and look at that traffic jam as they come out of Westbank, down the mine shaft into IGI. And you've got to really hook up in this sort of traffic. Viana. There's Goddard appearing. There's Farouk Dangor. Ben Morganrood's up there. They start to sort themselves out. C47 is Mike White. 49 just behind him is Leon Murray. That's a Toyota team. And they're ahead of Nick Duval, or are they? There's Nick Duval in the yellow Opel, if you can just see it there. And he's behind the motocross car. That's Neil Brink, who leads Class D. That's the 1600cc class. Number 2 there is Jeff Goddard in the Works BMW, who's lying 3rd at the moment. Aberdeen sitting right inside with him. Morganrood is now getting busy with Michael Briggs just behind, rubbing door handles. You can see those pylons there. That's the new corner that's coming up shortly. Here's they come out of National Panasonic. 2 is Goddard, and going for it. Goddard, oh, and we've got trouble. Someone's taken a terrible bashing. It's one of the Toyotas. One of the Toyotas. It's not Mike White, it's not Leon Murray. Well, that's a pity. Oh, there it is. That's the one. 55 is the car. Anwar Hafaji, and one of the old Conquests took a terrible pounding there. And here we go back into the action at the front of the field. So that was some action downfield. It's really bump and squeeze your way around the circuit. Unfortunately, that's how Group N racing is. You've just got to get in. You've got to be forceful. There's Morganrood as he disposed of Aberdeen. He sees, or De Breers. He's got Breers on his tail. Ahead of him, he sees Briggs, and he sees Aberdeen. So this is the first time that the 2-litre Mazda, the BP Mazdas, come out. And here they are leaning each other. Peter Lance is going for it. Thinks better of it this time. He was on pole position, but only that fraction of a second, as you know, ahead as they go down there, and they are trying. Boy, are they trying in those BMWs. Those are the 325 eyeshadow lines. And just when Lance thought he had a gap there, Tony Viana just takes his lines through. In 3rd position is Goddard. Very accomplished driver. 4th position, there he is, Aberdeen leading Class B, or the 2-litre class. Then we've got Farouk Dangor. Michael Briggs is there. Then it's Ben Morganrood. Notice Martinez Breers has got ahead of Morganrood by the look of it. Morganrood's not going to let him get away with that. These cars race here. They race at Swartkorps. There's another big meeting at Swartkorps on the 15th of April when the Westbank Modifieds are going to be there. And as they come round here, it's Silviana hanging on just by a thin thread to this lead, and Lance is giving him all the competition he could want.
Ja, nee, definitief meer kompetisie wil Tony Viana nie hê nie met Peter Lance, die soos ons hom in Afrikaans nou gedoop het, die Sweedse bergbok, wat nou hier in 2de posisie is. Daar sien ons vir Briggs, dan is Martinez Breers, dan is dit Ben Morganrood. 25, dan is dit Danny Moyle, nog steeds die Winfield BMW, dan die super quick Caltex BMW van Viana in die 2de posisie, en Klein onder ons wat ons hier by die National Panasonic draai gehad het, probeer net sien 1-3-0, dit is Graham Blankfield wat met daardie motor van die baan af gegaan het en meer stof gemaak het as enigiets anders, en die klas E motors kom verby, terug by die wedren, en hulle is besig om op te kom na die Hoenfield, na die Westbankheuwel, en is nog steeds Tony Viana aan die voortou. Dan is dit Pieterlands, dan Jeff Goddard, die man wat baie bevoegd is agter die stuur van hierdie BMW, hy toets ook al die BMW's vir die fabriek, en kry genoeg tyd. Hier is dit nou by die Mynskag af na 2 rondes Viana, Lans, Goddard, Aberdeen, Dangor en Briggs. Nou is dit die Continental Drive wat voorlê. Kom ons kyk wat Viana en Lans hierdie keer gaan uitvoer. Lans wat 'n baie nouer draai neem, 'n nouer lyn neem as wat Tony Viana neem. Die wedren is nog by ver nie verby die 2 en 3/4 rondes verby op hierdie